Hey there everyone, what's up? This is Zeram here and I hope that you all are doing well. Today we are going to create this appointment or a consultation form for a hospital website. If you guys are following me, then you know that few months ago we have created this hospital website, and let me show you here this one. So the name of this was medical, and we have created this one, and it was a nice page with almost all essential elements of a website. It has this one. When I've created, then I've got some of your comments that you guys need. It should have an appointment form. So by keeping that in mind and according to your suggestions, I have created this appointment form. I've used JavaScript functionality, plus we are going to use the IndexedDB or database of the browser in this situation. Last time in the last video we have learned about the local storage. This time we are going to learn about, let me show you what I'm talking about. So here in the application tab, last time, if you guys remember, we have learned about this local storage. Okay, and we have created a kind of to-do list in this one, and we have understood many of the things which were related to the local storage. And today we are going to learn this IndexedDB, and the form name is this consultations. The version number is here, and we are going to learn each and everything of this IndexedDB, indexed database. And you know what, for this we have to use this Mozilla Developer Network as a guide, and I suggest you guys that try to follow the documentations, try to read the documentations from this one, from the MDN, because we are going to use it as our guide, as our helper, and it is going to help us a lot in understanding and creating this project. The whole code, if you guys haven't seen this website, this medical, then the whole code for this one and all other projects code are here on codepen.io. I'm going to give the link in the description below. You guys can get the code of this one and all other all my other projects code from this codepen.io. I'm going to close this here, and I'm going to close this one. Let me show you that what we are going to do actually. Here is a form, a general or a basic form, you guys can say. Let me has an Alan spelling, and let's change the, let me change the name, not Alan, let's go with Pedro, and Pedro. And then I would like to go with this, and let's go with same time. Here I should say that feeling dizzy. I'm not sure about my spelling, but let's go. But click this confirm button, we have the detail here in this side, and if we want to cancel, we can cancel this thing. Okay, so all this functionality, all these things, as I've shown you before, they are going to be performed by having by using this IndexedDB. The form name is this consultation, and all these elements like date, patient name, contact, symptoms, all these things are available here. Okay, and if you want to delete it, we can delete it from here. If you want to refresh it, we can refresh it from here. So let's get started. So for that, I'm going to my editor. I'm using VS Code editor, and if you guys want to use VS, you guys can go ahead and use VS Code editor. I made a mistake. I've closed the tab of CodePen. I have to open it again. Okay, I have opened my CodePen again, CodePen tab again. So what I'm going to do, if you guys remember, or if you're new here, again, if you don't remember, let me tell you that all this hospital website or hospital web page, it was designed in Bootstrap. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm just, first of all, let me have a file here, index.html. Then I would like to go with another file, main.css. Then the third one for JavaScript, main.js. Okay, so first of all, here in the index.html, I'm going to use the Bootstrap 4 extension. it is here. I am here in the starter template, and let me say consultation. Okay, let's name it consultation. I would like to link my CSS with this, so link related to style sheet, and each ref is going to be main.css. Then I would like to link my JavaScript file here. So let's say script source is going to be main.js, and it is closed. Now here in this body section, what I'm going to do, I've already the images here in the image folder, hero image. So just for the look and feel, okay, I'm going to use this navbar, the hero image, and I'm going to use the footer. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do here in the index in my HTML, I'm just going to grab the code for the hero section, copy, and I don't want to write it because it is not necessary, and we have already done all these things before. So here is my live server. Excuse me. Okay, the HTML code is here. Now we have to now we have to get the CSS. So for CSS, what I'm going to do, let me copy all these from body to hero section. I'm just copying it from here. Okay, maybe it seems weird to you guys, but for me, I'm okay with this. And oops, copy, paste it here. Okay, now let's save it. Now let me show you. Okay, so here is the hero image. Then like the hero image, the button, and navbar. Now I would like to go with the footer. So for footer, I do have let me go to the section where the footer is. So I think this is the footer section. Let me check it again. Okay, hold on. Yeah, where it is saying footer, so end of footer, and no, this isn't. Okay, so here is the footer. I just want to copy this. Let me paste it here, and let's paste it here. Save, move on to the browser, and yeah, the footer elements are here. But what we have to do, let's get the CSS for the footer, and where is this? Is a contact form. Here is the footer. So I'm just going to get the footer, copy this, and let's paste it here. Save it. Here is our browser. Okay, sorry, not this one, this one. So we have a footer here. Yeah, we have to add the font awesome icons, but I'm not doing that because this is not our focus. Our main purpose is this form. Okay, so these are in the font awesome icons, so I'm not going in this one with this one. So let's go and start coding for this form or for this section. Okay, so here in the editor, I'm going to index.html between hero and footer. Okay, so let's start creating the markup. Go with the division, assigning it a class. The class is going to be container. Margin top is going to be 4. Padding is also 4. Within this, let's go with another div, assigning it a class. This class is going to be raw. Then let's have another div, assigning it a class. This class is going to be column medium 6. Heading 2, have a class of text center, and margin top and bottom is going to be 4. Okay, find consultations. Now I would like to go with the form, and within this form element, let's go with the div, assigning it a class. The class is going to be form, group, and row. Let's use a label, assigning it a class. This class is going to be column, small, and 4. Then let's use column LG4, and then column form, column LG form, and okay, well, let's see, patient name, and then after we would like to go with another division. No, sorry, we have to go with the another division. First of all, assigning it a class, column small 8, and column LG8, and then within this we have to go with the input element, and the type of this input element is going to be text. Then we have to use an ID, and this ID we are going to use in our JavaScript. So it is going to be patient name, and let's have a class. The class is going to be form control, and let's use a placeholder which is going to be name, and let's use the required. Why I'm going to use this required, let me show you that if I just, without typing anything, without writing anything, I just click on confirm, it is saying please fill out this field. So we make it necessary that it has to have something, it has to be something. Okay, let me now close this one. Okay, and without having any data in this, it cannot go on, or it cannot work. So that's why we are going to use this required. Now the next thing is, for my convenience, again I would like to go with another division. So for the, you know what I'm going to do, let me copy and paste this thing. So where is this? I think I should copy and paste it from group. So group raw, and let me copy this one, and let's paste it here. And here, in place of this patient name, I would like to go with the next one is the first one is the patient name, and the second one is a contact. So let's go with the contact here. Let's see, contact. And in the ID, it is going to, the type is going to be font, okay, or the TEL, and the patient is going to be, a patient name ID is going to be contact, CT, and here in place of the placeholder, let's go with the number 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I would like to have another one. Sorry, not find, but I need to paste here. Save it, and first of all, let's go to the browser and let's see what's going on. Okay, so we have contact here. Now this time we are going to go with the date, and let's go with the date. So here we have to go with the date. Then this ID, ID should be date, and then we have to go with the type. It is going to be date. Okay, and then the next thing is placeholder is going to be, it is not going to have a placeholder because we are using the date, and the requirement is also not be included in this thing. So okay, save it. And then the next one is, next is going to be the time. So again, I'm pasting it here. Let's use time. It is to be capital. Text type is going to be time, and this one, this patient name ID is also going to be time. Again, we don't need this required and this placeholder, so let's delete it. We remove this one also. Let's close it here. Okay, and then the other one, which is going to be the symptoms. No. Okay, and here the ID is also going to be, we don't need this required and the placeholder, plus we don't need the type is text. Let it be here, and it is going to be symptoms. Okay, let's go to the browser. Here we are. Okay, and we need a button also. So actually here we need a text area. We don't need all these things, sorry. When I have seen that, I need a text area, and for that I don't need this input actually. Let me close this one. And here let's go with the text area. The text area is going to have an ID. Again, the ID is going to be same terms, and let's use the class. The class is going to be form control. Okay, so the text area is it is also going to be required. So okay, and let's save it. Let's see. Okay, and then now we have to go with a button. So for the button, let's go with a div, assigning it a class. This class is going to be form group and raw, and then we have to say that justify content end. So justify content end. Let's go with the center. Let's see how the center will look. And div, assigning it a class. The class is going to be the class is going to be column small 5, and let's use a button element. So button element with a type is going to be submit, and then we should have a class button bdn, and this bdn is going to I'm going to use this class in CSS. Okay, so we have a confirm. Let's save this one. Let me show you. Okay, so we have done with this section. Now we have to go, we have to create this one. Okay, so for this, when sender is not going to good, let's go with the end, and then we have to, as I've told you, we have to work for this section now. Prepare the markup of this section. So for this, let's go with the division, assigning it a class. The class is going to be column medium 6 and heading 2. So heading 2 is going to have an ID. This ID is going to be known as services. Let's use a class. This class is going to be text center, and margin top and bottom is going to be 4 again. Then we have to close this heading 2 because we are going to use it dynamically, and for that we need a JavaScript and then the unordered list with an ID. ID is going to be consultations, and let's say a class. The class is going to have a list group, and that's all. Let's save it, move on to the browser. Not this one, here. Okay, so we do have a form. This thing is not going to appear here now, but we will see this in the when we will work with the JavaScript. Okay, this section. So the next thing is CSS only for the button. So for the CSS for the button, I would like to go with, let me have some space here. Okay, and let's say form, I would like to have a class of form group, and then we do have a btn form, and here I'm copying and pasting this, all these styles here. In place of the white color, I would like to go with the black. Save it. There's in the browser, and we do have a button. We all are done with this markup. Now let's start creating the JavaScript. Okay, so it is a database project, as I've told you guys, and we are going to concern to this MDN, Mozilla Developer Network. Here it should be here. Okay, so this is what we are going to work, and it will be easy to switch between these two tabs. Okay, let's start creating the JavaScript. So first of all, I would like to declare the variable. The variable, first I'm going to create it in a global scope. So I'll explain you why I'm doing it this here. Well, let's have a form, and I'm going to use the query selector method. For this, the first one is going to be form, and this form is actually this one. Okay, the second thing, let me copy this one, paste it here, and in place of this form I would like to go with the patient name. So patient name, but here it shouldn't be like this. Here it is like patient name, and it's an ID, so let's use this one. Then the third thing is the third variable, not the same. It is going to be the contact. So let me say contact, and here also it should be a contact. The next one is going to be the date. So let's remove this. And sorry for this, it should have a date here. And the date is going, then after the date we have a time. I'm pressing the Alt, okay, by I'm holding the Alt by selecting two or more than two objects or the variables. So here it is going to be time. The next one is going to be symptoms. So okay, so this should be the symptoms, from here and here it should be consultations. Here we are going to say consultations, and here it is going to be the services, not this one. Okay, then after, what we have to do next is I would like to declare, not declare, but I would like to fire the event listeners here. So document dot add event listeners, and here I'm saying that DOM content, sorry, it is content loaded, and I would like to go with an arrow function here. So now what I would want to do here, I would like to create the database. So we can say creation of database. Okay, so I'm going to say that the database name is going to be schedule DB. Okay, and it is saying that window dot IndexedDB is going to use the open method, and let's say consultations. Okay, and it is going to accept two parameters. One is this, and the other one is going to be one is the string, and the other one is going to be the version number. So the version number I'm going to use is 1. Okay, it should be integer. So let me tell you this, it should have a comma. Okay, now as I've told you in the beginning that we are going to concern the MDN or the Mozilla Developer Network. So for this, in case if you are curious, if you want to know that what is this, it is the open method. The open method is going to accept two variables. You can see here in the IntelliSense it is saying string, and the version number which we have passed, the string is consultations, the version number is 1, and this IndexedDB, in case if you are thinking that where it comes from. So as I've shown you in the beginning also, but in case if you want to know, just type here. If you are curious about anything, type here in the MDN and you will find a lot of things, a lot of documentation about it, and read as much as you can until you are not satisfied. Okay, so IndexedDB is here. Now the open, it's like it's easy to understand what it is going to do. It is going to open. So now we have to create a function which is going to tell that if there is an error, everything is fine. So first of all, I would like to copy this schedule DB, and on error there would be a function, and this function, what this function is going to show, if there would be an error, the function is going to display that you have an error. Okay, and if everything is fine, if there isn't any kind of error, everything is good to go, then there should be something else. And what is that something else? There's something else again, schedule.db on success, like if everything is fine as I've told you, is going to display the it is going to display, there is a function, sorry, it hasn't to do this, and it is going to say that everything is fine. So console.log, and it should say you are good to go. Okay, and then we are going to check it in the console, don't worry about it. And then we have to create if everything is good, if everything is fine, then it is going to assign the result to the instance. And here is the time I'm going to explain that global variable, this db, which is in the global scope. So I'm saying that this database and is going to show the result. Okay, so what's going on here? Let me tell you that if everything is fine, if the console is going to say that you are good to go, then this result is going to be stored in this database or in this instance or in this global variable. Okay, that is why it is declared or defined here, that it is defined here to be reached from anywhere from the program. Okay, and then let's have a function here. So we will create this one. This function is going to be show consultations. It's a call, okay, and we have to create this function. So let's save all these things and let's go to the console.log to check if we are good to go or not. Okay, so let's check it in the browser. I have stopped the recording because of the dogs, and again they've started. So before them, let's check here is the console. We do have an errors. Oh, I think we do have an error. I think we have made a mistake somewhere. Let me check again. And okay, so here is a typing mistake. It's a DOM, content loaded, not DOMs. So here we are, and what is saying that, okay, we can do some, okay, so we are good to go. So you are good to go. It's mean that everything is fine. We don't have any kind of error, and just forget about all these things in the browser. Okay, so here we have done until now. We have done successfully. So let me comment it out because we have to use this one, not now, but I'll just keep it here. Now the next thing is, let's create the schema of the database, that how it is going to be. So for this, let's create the schema. So for the schema, what we have to do, first of all, let me bring it here, and the method I'm going to use, first of all, let me paste it here. I'm going to explain you, then it will be easy for you to understand. I'm going to use this on upgrade needed. Okay, this method is going to run once. Okay, it is not going to load again and again. It is just going to create the database once, like it is the database is going to be there, and it is whatever the changes you are going to make, the fields, whatever the things, it is not going to affect on this thing. It is just, this method is only just for running it once. Okay, like when it is loaded, then it will be there. I'll explain you in more detail first of all, and I'll tell you from that how I got this on upgrade needed type of thing. So let's have a function here. Function is going to fire an event, and then the event will be the database. So what will be it is going to be let database event is going to target the result. Okay, and let me show you first of all this on upgrade needed, this on success, and this on error. So as I've told you before that we are going to get all these things from here. First of all, let's see this on error. Okay, here you can see request on our error, database on error. So you have to read these documentations to be more clear in the concepts. Okay, so here on IDB or index database or database on error is an event handler for the IDB database interface handles the error event. Okay, there is another one we have learned. For complete information, please consult the documentation. And then the other one is on success. So the on success is also here, and you can see request, DOM request on success, and IDB request on success, on error. And so just these two, but there are many you guys can find. Request are given record title on success gets the associated record from the IDB object store. We are going to learn about this object store also in the same chapter, in the same project actually. So the next thing what we have to do is on upgrade needed. Okay, so this on upgrade needed, what is this? IDB OpenDB request on upgrade needed handler being used to update the database structure. Okay, update the database structure. And for more information, for more try to read all these things until you are not satisfied, until you don't get enough satisfaction. Please read all these things we are using in this project. Okay, on upgrade needed, what it is going to do, it is going to do this thing, and as I've told you that it is going to run once. Okay, now after having this result, let's have a, as I've told you, object store. I'm going to tell you what is this object store. Then the object store is going to be database, and it is going to say create object store. Is going to have two parameters, the string and the options. You can see. Okay, object store database create object store, the name is string, and the options. So I'll explain in more detail. Hold on. Okay, so the first thing is, here we have to go with the consultations. Okay, the second thing is going to be key path. You guys will have all these things. Just a minute. Okay, I'm going to explain you. We are not firing the arrows in the air. We have the proof. Okay, and after having this key path key, auto increment means that the database is going to increment automatically, and like 1, 2, 3, 4 as the fields are going to be filled, and then the incrementation is going to increase. So it is true. Okay, and that's all. Okay, which isn't completely all. We have to use a comma here. Sorry, should be a comma, and it shouldn't be this. So the key, sorry, it's a key path. So key path, key, auto increment, increment, and it's increment, sorry, not an increment, increment. Okay, now let's understand this thing. Here our friend, let's say object store. Okay, so what it is going to do, IDB again create object store or the object store. Here we do have the, like, you can use the property to uniquely identify individual objects in the store. The methods take the name of the store as well as parameter object that lets you define important optional. As the property is identified, it should be unique to every object, and every object should have that blah 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 documentation. Again, please consult the documentation for more satisfaction or to improve your or to clear your concept. Okay, so what I'm also using the things from here. but I'm using the things from here. I'm not using, as I've told you, that not from my mind, like not from my head. So all these things are helping us. I'm just trying to arrange them, to organize them in a way that it gives some meaning. Okay, so everything is here. Just a minute, it is not, oh gosh, right, it is not working. Okay, so what I want to show you guys, I want to show you the syntax. Actually, it has a proper syntax. And where is that? I'm trying to find the syntax. This is, here we are. So ObjectStore is going to create the index. Now here is the syntax. Okay, so create an object store for the database. Syntax is my ID, like the variable has to be, it has a variable which is going to assign the object store. Then the create index, index name, key path, as I've used here, the key path. Okay, object, create object store, key path, and then hold on, to be more descriptive, just a minute, let me show you something else. Let's have a object store is going to create index. It is going to have a parameter. The first parameter is going to be patient name. Then we would like to go with an other patient name. Here we are going to go with the unique, which is going to be false. What unique is false means the patient, there are a person, like if there is a guy whose name is Peter, then there is not only one Peter in the world or in the city, there are many Peters. So it is not going to say that, okay, you are, this name is already taken or the name is already available, you cannot enter your name, change this into, change into that. So that's why it is going to show this one, the unique false. Okay, now let's go to what is this, create index. Okay, then it has a field name, the key path, and the option. The syntax is same, you guys can see here. Unique, it is false here. Create index, okay, DB, create object store, database, create an object for the database variable. Then it is saying that db.create object store, blah blah blah. Index, then these are the, suppose patient name, and then the key path and the unique values. Take the key path, here is also the key path. Take the key path if you have used the database, like suppose Access database. Okay, in our computer, in our Windows, it is with the Windows. So it has a primary key. If you ever use, there is a primary key in the database. Not only in that, in SQL and other also we have a primary key. We have to define the primary key. So take the key path or the key as a primary key. Okay, the key path, the key, primary key, auto incrementation I've explained you, and this is what the syntax I am following. The syntax is given in the documentation. Okay, it's not from somewhere, just comes into our project, it is from the documentation. Now the next thing is, I'm just going to copy this one. Okay, so let's continue. So now in here, in place of this patient name, let's go with the contact. Here in place of contact, let's sorry, again in patient name, let's go with the date. The next is going to be time. No, okay, it's going to be time. Here it is going to be symptoms. Okay, so now let's see console.log and fields are ready. Okay, save it, move on to the browser. Here we are. Again, we are having that good to go, but the fields are already should be here. Okay, I have to. So where is that? Okay, it's the same one. I don't think that there is any problem. If there would be, then it will show us after, because you can see this is only for that we didn't define that show consultation, so we'll define that function, no problem, but it is not showing any other error. And let's go to this one. So where I think this is not showing. Do have some issues with my browser, but I really don't know why it's not showing me that error. And patient name false. I apologize for this thing. My browser is not getting it, but we will find this error if there is any. Okay. Because I think in my code I haven't made any kind of mistake. There isn't anything which is not well defined. I have defined everything, but it is not showing here. Okay, let's move on, and we'll see if it is not working by the end of the project. We'll fix all those issues and errors. So let's get the form and add event listener, where we are going to use the submit, and let's say add consultations. Okay, and here it is going to add the consultations. We have to create this function. So let's have a function here which is saying add consultations. I just have to recheck my spellings. Okay, consultations, and here it is. This function is going to add the consultations. So I would like to use the prevent default method, which is prevent default, sorry, not method, prevent default. And then I have to go with the I have to create an object, a new object with the form info. So for that, let's say let, using the new keyword, and new consultation, and the new consultation is going to have a patient name, and the patient name I'm going to call the variable with the value. Okay, patient name and the value, patient name, value, and then we have to go with let me recheck this PATIENT. Let me check the spellings here. Okay, spellings are fine. The next thing is contact. So what I'm going to do, let me copy and paste it. I'm sorry, this dog is just is not letting me to record in a peaceful atmosphere. Okay, then we have to change these values, where there is going to be contact, then this one and this one is going to be date, then the next one is going to be time, then you will have a symptoms, okay, let's save it. Then we have to go with let's insert the object into the database. So how we can do that? Let's go with the let. Again, I'm going to say let transaction, transaction. Okay, I'm doubtful about my spellings. So transaction DB, the database, again the transaction, and here I would like to go with an array. So consultations. Okay, I'm going to explain you and what would be the mod, or what it would be about the transaction. The transaction mode is going to be read and write. Okay, now first of all, let's understand this transaction. So I'm just going to copy this here in the MDN. I'm pasting it here. Let's go. Okay, so IDB database transaction. Here is the syntax. Syntax is defined already here. Transaction, store names, IDB.transaction, store names, mod. As I've told you, the mod is going to be read or write or whatever the mod according to the database requirement. So here we have a read and write. So this is what, for more information, for more detail, you guys can read it. So here you can see db.transaction, my store name, and here is a read and write. Here in this place we have written consultations, and the mod is going to be read and write. So you guys can understand that how we got this transaction. We got these transactions from there, from the documentation. Okay, I have seen a bug here, so this shouldn't be here, and there shouldn't be a comma because we are not continuing this one. And then we have to go with the next thing, which is going to be let's have a object store. So as I've already defined you guys about the object store, let the transactions, I'm going to get the object store and consultations. Okay, so let's start. After this, actually, while recording, I've stopped it because of my neighbor's dog. He was shouting too much, so I'm going to record it so fast. I'm not going to go in more details because it already took too much time. So I'm going to try. I'm trying to explain you guys, but if I left anything, we will cover it in any other video. Okay. So after this, let's go with another variable, which is going to be the request. Okay, the request, and then we have to assign the object store, and let's use the add, and we are going to add this new consultation here, new consultations here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just new consultations, sorry, that is add consultations. Here is this one, new consultations. So I would like to add this, and it's new consultation, not a consultations. Again, my apologies. So new consultation. Then after this, let's have a request that on success how it is going to behave. Again, there would be an arrow function, and it is, if it is going to, let me tell you what will happen. Reset, then okay, and when we are here is the consultation form. So and the dog starts again. So when we are going to fill this one, this form, then it is going to reset it. The data is not going to remain in the form. It is going to reset, same as we have done in the last video. So if you have any kind of issue, then please concern that one too, to understand this thing. Okay, then after this, let's go with the transactions. So the transaction, and here transaction spelling is okay, it's fine, transaction, and I would like to say that on complete, what it is going to do, it is, again, we are going to have a console.log. I do have some error in my console, so you guys already seen this one. So it is going to say add new schedule. Okay, it is going to add the new schedule, and it is going to show the new schedule, like whatever you want to name it. Okay, now we are again going to call the show consultations, and then after, let's have the transaction, and transaction on error, if there would be any kind of error, what will happen, again the arrow function and console.log, and it is going to say that please fix the error. Okay, again I'm trying to do it soon because I don't want to wait more. So now again, after this, you know what we have to do next. We have to within the IDB, the index database key path, the show consultations are going to be shown on the screen. So where they are going to be shown, they are going to be shown here on the screen. Okay, so for this thing, what we are going to do, let's have a function here again, and this time we are going to create this show consultations functions, which we had already called here. Then we did call this function somewhere here. Okay, so we are creating this function. We already called it, and now we are creating this function. I think I've made a mistake somewhere because there is an error here in the code snippet. Where is that? Okay, let's finish this one. I think it's showing because of this. Yep. Okay, show consultations again. The consultation, what it is going to do, if the, not if, there are the old, there would be the previous consultations or the schedule, the meeting with the patient and the doctor schedule, they are going to clear that one. So for this, we are going to say that while consultations of first child, okay, then the consultations are going to, we are going to use the remove child method, and the consultations first child. Okay, this condition is going to apply it here. Okay, it is what it is going to do, it is going to clear the previous schedules. So again, after this, let's create the object store. So for the creating the object store, let's say object store. I've already explained all these things to you with the help of Mozilla Developer Network. So object store, it is going to assign the DB, the global variable we have, this one. Okay, so it is going to assign the database or the DB the dog and the transaction, and then we have to say that consultations are going to call the object store, and again we are going to pass the parameter, and this parameter is going to be consultations. Okay, consultations. So transaction, there is an issue within this transaction. We need to, yeah, the first one is, it is this one. Okay, and then the here is also, that is okay. So database is going to pass or move the transaction within the consultations, and then the object store is doing the same. Okay, now the next thing here we have to do is the object store. Excuse me, I wanted to finish soon because the dog is now I'm going to use the open cursor again. From where I get this open cursor? So in the MDN, let's say open cursor, and you guys can see index dot open cursor. The method sets the position of the cursor to the appropriate record based on the specified direction. Here again, object store dot open cursor. This is the syntax of this, and you guys can to understand it more in detail, please consult the documentation. Okay, now the open cursor is, let's say, on success, then there would be a function firing an event, and here we are going to assign the current cursor. So let's say let cursor is throwing an event to the target, and target to get the result. Okay, now let's have a condition here. If cursor, then we are going to say that consultation, okay, HTML is equal to document dot we are going to create the object, create element, and the element is going to create in a li. Okay, it is going to, so this consultation, it is going to create the element, which if we write this li here within the index.html, as we have written there, the HTML, suppose here below somewhere, then it is going to get this one. So that's why we are using this consultation HTML. Okay, and now it is going to create an li, this list item, and then we are saying that consultation HTML is going to set an attribute. Okay, and the attribute is going to be data and consultation ID. Okay, this would be the ID, and then it is going to say that, hold on, that cursor is going to pass a value and the key. Okay, then after the key is for the unique value or the unique key. Already explained this thing to you, and for more details, please again consult the documentation. Then after this, we have to go with the consultation, and consultation.html. Let's use the class list property, where we are going to add the list group and list group items, so they are not going to be too much. Then we are then what it is going to do, the cursor is going to contain the value. Okay, the value of that List group is going to be contained within the cursor. And how it is going to do this? Consultation HTML. It is going to get the inner HTML. Okay, inner HTML, and is going to assign. Now what we are going to do, we are going to assign the bootstrap values. Remember, let me show you here, not here, but somewhere. Let's suppose in the text area we have the classes here, these column and all these things. And if you remember, this project is made in CSS, Bootstrap, this all hospital project. So we have used text and all those things we have used in the we have used the Bootstrap classes. So again, we are going to use the Bootstrap class here. So with the P element, let's say class, but not like this. We need to use the backtick, and here we are going to say that the class of the paragraph is going to be font weight is going to be bold. The title, okay, the title is going to be bold. And the backtick shouldn't be there, is going to be bold. And then we have to use the within the backtick, let's say patient name. You know what this thing is doing? Let me try to explain you here in this project, because there are these things, okay, this change your visiting hours and all these things, they are going to be done with this open cursor and this cursor method. And now whatever all these styling we are doing for this section, for all these. Okay, so for this, let's have a span element, and within this span, let's say class, and this class is going to say font weight is going to be light. And then after we have to close this, then we have to use the string here. And for this, let's say cursor, and here the cursor is going to have a value, then the value is going to be patient name. Okay, then after, let's close the span element and our P element. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I just want to copy and paste this all this P element. So from here to here, let me copy, paste it here. And this time I would like to go, the value for the second one is going to be date. Okay, this time I would like to go with the, not with the patient name, but it is going to be date. And I've made a mistake somewhere, I think. No, not there, but here it is not going to be patient name, it is going to be date. Okay, another one, this is going to be time. So this one and this one is going to be removed, and let's go with the time, but, and this T is going to be capital. So let's capitalize. We can use this capitalized class here also. And then we have to say the next thing is going to be the symptoms, I think. Yep. So let it be here. Remove this. Okay. And now symptoms. And here also it is going to be Okay, so symptoms are, it is done. The next thing, let's have a semicolon plus the backtick. Where is the backtick? Okay, it is too long. So let's remove all these extra spaces and let's put this backtick here. Okay, so it is wrapped in this backtick. Now the next thing is that we have to add the remove button. So this remove button, like suppose, okay, and let's go with the same date. I've started this project 8 o'clock sorry, 1 o'clock, and because of the dog I'm finishing it now. So we are going to create this cancel button here, the button to remove all this form or all this data. Okay, and now let's start creating the cancel button. So let's say cancel BDN. Okay, const cancel BDN, and it will be equal to document dot create element, and which element is going to be created? Button. Okay, we are going to create a button element, and then we have to say that the cancel button is going to have a class list property, and it is going to add the button, and the button is going to be red to make it more prominent. So button danger, bootstrap class, this danger, and then we have to use the cancel BDN, and we should say inner HTML property, and this inner HTML property is going to cancel it, and now we can say that this cancel button is when it is going to perform on click. Okay, and it is going to remove the consultation. Okay, then it is going to remove the consultation when the button is going to click. Then after, let's add this into the HTML. So for this we have to use the append method. First of all, let's say consultation HTML, and it is going to say that append child. Okay, append child method, where we are going to say that append this cancel BDN, cancel button, and then the consultations, not consultation HTML, consultations are going to be, by using this append child, they are going to use this consultation HTML. Okay, consultation HTML. Then after, we have to use the cursor, and here is the cursor, and we have some space. Cursor, and cursor is going to continue. It is just have to move on. Okay, it has to continue for retrieving the next data record, or kind of a iteration, not a kind, actually, for iterating. We are going to iterate the cursor, so that's why we are saying that cursor dot continue. Cursor is going to continue, or again we have to set the condition. So we should say that else if there wouldn't be consultation, and if there wouldn't be consultations, then the first child is going to have, remember the services variable, we already have that. Services are going to get the text content. The text content is, what would be the text content? It is change your, I'm talking about, let me show you this one, change your visiting hours. So all these things is going to happen dynamically, so that's why we are saying that change here when the cursor is going, because it is going to iterate. So there would be would be another condition. If there wouldn't be consultations, no consultations, then the first child is going to call this services variable, where the text content of this services variable is going to be change your visiting hours. Okay, there would be an option. So spelling of no, it is right here. It would be visiting hours, and then we have to create another variable which is going to say that let no schedule. If there wouldn't be any schedule, then the document are going to create an element, and that element is going to be the p element. This p element, what it is going to do, then no schedule, no schedule, and then it is going to use the class list property, and it has to add the text, and the text would be in the center. Okay, and then again I would like to get the same. Okay, let's go with the, if again the no schedule, if there wouldn't be any schedule, then the text content, the text content is going to say that this is going to be shown over there, that no hold on, I want to be very specific here. So let's say no results found. We have here, you can see no results found, and then it should say that the consultations are going to use the append child method, and then they are going to pass this variable. Let's have this no schedule here, and again else services are going to use the text content property, where it is going to say that cancel your consultation, because for doctors we usually use the word consultations for the doctors, for the medical people, because we consult to them. Yeah, cancel your consultations, and that's all. Okay, now we have to create another function. So this function is going to be remove consultations. Okay, so how this function is going to work? This function is going to work like, let's say function remove consultation, firing an event, and this event is going to get the schedule IDs. There would be an ID for the schedule, so it is saying that add, I'm always confused with my the schedule ID. Okay, and it is going to pass a number, so it is going to fire an event which is going to target the parent element, and then it is going to get the attribute, and the attribute it is going to get the attribute is going to be again data. We have used this one, consultation ID. Okay, and then after here we are going to use the transaction. So let transaction, okay, transaction assigning the to the database, then the transaction, and we are going to pass an array. We have done this thing above, so let's say, and I've explained this to you, consultations in an array. And then again we are going to use the read write method here, read write mod, or okay, read write mod, and then we have to say that now let's use the object store. All these things already defined, so I'm not going to define now. I'm just saying that transaction is going to get the object store, and here we are going to pass the consultation, okay, the consultations, sorry, and then object store, and is saying that it has to delete the, let me copy this, schedule ID. Okay, now we have to use the transaction again, and we have to say that transactions, when the transactions are transaction on complete, it has to use the arrow function. Okay, and I'm going to fire an event which is going to target the parent element, and they are going to target their parent element. Then we have to use a remove child. This parent element and this parent element and all these I've explained in the previous video. Please consult that one. Please check that one, to do that, or a JavaScript project. And I'm going to give the this video link in the hospital website web page videos also. I'll give this link over there too, and you can find the code from the codepen.io also if you need the code. Okay, so what it is going to do, the parent element is going to, it is saying that remove the child, and now within this parameter again event is going to fire with the target and the parent element. Then we have to use a condition here. So if there wouldn't be the consultations, then the first child is going to call the services, and then the text content for the services again, and the same one which we already had, change your visiting hours. Okay, and then let's say if there wouldn't be schedule, again let no schedule, then document dot create element, element, again calling the p element, the paragraph element, and then no schedule is going to call the classless property, and then they are going to add the text, which is going to be text sender, and again no schedule, then text content, and here it is going to say no results found, and then it is going to be found no results found, and then it has to say that the consultations append child, and it should say no schedule. Okay, and then here it has to say else, otherwise the services okay, services are going to get the text content, and again it is going to say that cancel your consultation. Okay, let's save it, and I need to review the code first. I need to review the code first, and then we will check what's going on. Okay, so let's use the semicolon here and save it and move on to the browser. So we already got this change your visiting hours. Now let's add some text here and let's check. The text is going to be again Alex. It's a very simple name, so I just want to go with this, and this should be the date, the same time, and let's say again high blood pressure. Okay, so there would be an error there. We have made a mistake somewhere. Maybe the uncut reference data is not defined. Line 90. Consultation HTML. Let's go to the editor. Let's see that line 90. Where is the 90? Okay, so consultation. Yeah, so you know we have to keep it within this code. Let's save it, move back. Okay, so we have a data here. So let's go to the application first of all. So here we do have our database, which is this consultations. Let's click on it. Consultation, it has the date, the patient name. Look at the primary key path, value, Alex, contact, blah blah, and there is it's in the contact ID. Let's go with the time. This is the time. Symptoms, high blood pressure. Okay, so let's add another one. This should be John, some random numbers. John is going to point on this date, and John going to, this would be the timing for the John. John is going to have a let's see, low blood pressure. So okay, so we do have John and Alex. Alex and John both are added here. Again here in the application, here in the application, so you guys can see ID 0 1. We have used the auto increment, so you guys can see the patient and the other values it has. So the time, symptoms, key, date, it is for Alex, and John is this one. So here is for John, contact, and if we go to the contact, we can see the contact of John is this one, Alex contact is this one. So we can have, let's delete this one. So if we use cancel, then Alex is cancelled from there here, and let's go here and let's see again. I think Alex remained there in the, okay, so contact, no, Alex is also deleted from here. So this is the project we have done, the appointment form. I hope that you guys like it, and the code for this